But the concept of Eurocentric learning, that African Americans prefer the social aspects of school such as recess and lunchtime.
Right. Well, I'll explain
well, so
that.
did I always liked recess.
No, Your Honor. But the point of that was that in our cultures, we're very family-oriented and more relationship-oriented.
You don't
and
think
sometimes
Italians and Jews and Irish are...
Only black people like recess? What? Everybody likes recess and lunch. Well, I'll make sure to add an intro on this one on what kind of stuff we are checking out right now. This is always a hot button topic. It's always one that gets people in their feelings. Everybody's got an opinion. All right? And it's great. I fucking love this shit. But what I tell people is just like this, the easy way, if you don't know, we're talking about the N-word. Okay? The N-word in court. Now it's a legal matter. That's a completely different statement. Let's talk about it socially first. Make everybody really comfortable. Huh? You guys ready to be really comfortable? Matter of fact, let's make you real comfortable. Let's make you super comfortable. She's looking at my lips the whole time. I'm just don't do that. Okay, I won't do that. Not coffee. Sorry. Almost spilled my coffee. Oh my God. Sorry, I put this right down on top of my coffee cup. I almost spilled it on my desk. I was so scared there for a second. Okay, let's talk about it real quick. I think the first thing to remember, okay, is to be aware of where you're at, regardless of color, okay? Be aware of your settings, okay, and who you're talking to. I mean, I don't mind you being offended by the word nigga with an A. It doesn't bother me if you're offended by it, right? I use the word, you've seen my videos, I say it all the time. Sometimes I'm watching the clip and just be like, nigga, right? I'm just like, damn, that's my real reaction while I'm watching this shit. And that shit happens every once in a while. But I'm not gonna go over to your grandmother's house for dinner and then take a bite of your sandwich that's really good and be like, nigga, right? To your grandmother. Hey, grandma, nigga, this shit is good, right? I'm probably not gonna do that, okay? I'm probably gonna tell her this is a very good sandwich. But when it becomes the N-word as a legal matter, there is a different court. Talk about the difference between an A and an R. Okay, and with an O has historical context. Negro was the name of black people as a person before we were considered people. We were not considered Americans, we were considered Negroes, right? That's just how it is historically. So that's why it has that gritty, bad feeling to it, but it's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just a bad time that makes people uncomfortable to think about. And so those are the three differences, but just understand that those are where they're at, and use one at your discretion, and take your setting into appropriate context, okay? And with that, let's do it. That's a long intro.
He never does it when I'm home. He always does it while I'm away. And I jumped out of the car. What are you doing, Alan? What?
This is the one I was shown this beforehand. All right, this is.
To fly. And
what words started to fly?
Well, I told him that he's sneaky, and he replied.
Look at the guy's face. They bleeped it out, but you can tell what she said based on this man's face in the back with the glasses. Zoom in on the glasses.
He's sneaky, and he replied.
Look at what I.
No, wait, I didn't hear you. What did you say?
I told him he's sneaky, and I caught him now.
No, that's not what you said a second ago. What did you say?
Sneaky. That's what I said.
Really?
Well, he was caught. This is the first time he's been caught in 3 or 4 years.
Oh, I'm not quibbling with the word sneaky, if that's how you feel about it. I'm kind of quibbling with the N-word that you not only use in front of your daughter, but you bring your daughter to this courtroom so we can hear about it again.
I've never been disrespectful to him.
I'm sorry, did you just testify that you called him the N-word, and you're saying I've never been disrespectful to him?
I've never, in any other altercations, called him anything.
Do you think this was disrespectful?
Yes, I absolutely do. And I went outside and I apologized to him the next day, and he told me that it's a legal matter now and to get a good lawyer because he's taking my house. I knew what I did was wrong. It was off color, and I apologize.
Off color.
It's amazing to me because not only are you this racist, but you.
This is the part where it gets sketchy for a lot of people. But listen to what she says and tell me what you think.
Let me just explain something to you. If the word comes out of your mouth in an insulting, hurling form, as opposed to that you're singing a few bars of Jay-Z's songs, you are a racist, okay? And when you say, you sneaky N-word, you are a racist.
So I'll cut out the other part because I feel like it puts too much of the, you know, video maker's opinion in on the situation. But what do you think about that explanation? that it's different, and the transcript, I think, if it's correct, says with a hard R. But I don't know, okay? I don't know if that's correct. I didn't find the actual transcripts of the show, right? Do you think it makes her a racist then to be comfortable not only saying it then, but then repeating it to the judge, you know, and not understanding that the problem was with the N-word? Because she repeated sneaky. I said that he was being sneaky because I caught him, and just had to repeat to her several times, the N-word is the problem, and then explain to her why the N-word is a problem. Do you think that matters or not? Because some people say yes, some people say no. I don't want to fight about it. I just want to know what you think. And I have not seen the next clip. I just heard it with two black people,
Shannon
and I'm
O'Brien
interested.
is suing Debbie Bryant, her former student, for defamation of character. The former student is countersuing her former instructor for emotional distress. Ms. O'Brien, you say that you are an educator and you give various courses, and you say that you hosted a 5-day seminar on self-esteem and cultural differences between the races and
self-esteem and cultural differences among the races. That is a mouthful. Who has low self-esteem around other races of people? That's a thing? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What?
On self-esteem and cultural differences.
Self-esteem and cultural differences. Got it.
Between the races, and that the defendant, Ms. Bryant, actually attended one of these courses, but then she ended up filing a complaint that caused you, as you say, to lose your job, and you say that she accused you of outlandish racial statements, that you insulted her in front of the class by saying that she was whitewashed, and you say that none of this stuff actually happened. Is that correct?
That's correct.
You called her whitewashed? You can't do that.
Right. And Ms. Bryant, you say that you signed up for a class about culture and unwittingly ended up being taught in a class by someone that you call a Black Panther militant.
I did.
Black Panther militant. Is that about the movie? Is that about the movie Black Panther? She's militant about the movie. I am aggressively in support of Black Panther. Also a great movie. It's a good movie.
Tell me about this class. What was it about, and who were you teaching it to?
Well, good morning, Your Honor. It is an honor to be in your courtroom today.
Thank you.
I'm an avid fan.
Man,
and
look
I brought this to you because
look at her smooching that ass at the start of the
because I know that you are a victim's advocate. And in being a victim's advocate, you deal with bullies. And that's what we have here, a bully. Ms. Bryant is a bully, and she's engaging in relational bullying in an attempt to censor me and control my ability to be successful as an instructor.
And who do you work for?
Well, I work for myself. I have a nonprofit organization called Children's Resources. And so I came up with
Children's Resources. What does that have to do with even Professor?
The Black History program that ended up being so popular with the parents who enrolled their children that they asked me to go to the schools and start doing workshops for parents.
All right, okay. But you say that you ended up losing your job, and you're suing her for defamation.
Because that's a client that I lost as a result of these false allegations. The Housing Authority, the County of San Bernardino.
All right, how is it that you ended up going to this course, and what course did you think you were going to take?
Okay. All that she's hollering, she's teaching, and this and that and the other, the only part that is the truth, Your Honor, is that she did teach that, or African American parents should stick together, and how we should allow, first of all, our children to call each other the N-word.
That's not true.
That is true.
Completely false. We talked about children and the use of slang. We're talking.
Okay, here's where it gets sticky. I want to know what words were used, damn it. Give me a transcript.
Talking about the social and emotional development of children, and when they get around a certain age, they want their peer acceptance, their peer group acceptance.
What's that got to do with the N-word?
Well, part of the problem is we as parents don't educate our children about the origins of the N-word.
No, you don't.
So they don't know the magnitude of what they're actually saying.
Right.
Because they don't get enough education about.
Well, it's not a term of endearment. We can go on and on about this. The N-word is not a term of endearment.
And I never said it was. But the children.
Okay, you don't have to say it is. You don't have to think it is, right? But what are you saying?
Children who aren't educated.
What's to educate? Explain to me, what's to educate? You don't use this word, it's negative.
And they're kids, they don't know. If you knew that it was associated with Jim Crow, and you knew that it was associated with lynchings, if I were 13-year-old that knew that, I wouldn't use it.
The N-word was long before Jim Crow.
Yeah.
I don't need to be an
But if you
educator to
give
know
children,
that.
Right.
But a lot of children don't know that. So I give parents examples of how they need to show children how the word has been historically
Right. She's not wrong.
associated.
All right, so you objected to this.
Yes, I did.
So there was discussion of the N-word. She thinks they need to know the history of the N-word. You're like,
Yes, and Your Honor, so I stated too.
did you
Ms.
say it in
O'Brien.
class?
Yes, I did.
So is this class about the cultural assimilation? Is it about Black history?
What
is
is it about?
What's it about?
Well, when you're
Give me
talking
one
to
word.
parents-
Whoa. One word. What's the class about?
Racism.
No.
I'm looking at
sorry.
her.
Okay.
What's the class about?
I would say it's a sociology class.
It's a sociology
I would
class.
say
Okay.
that.
Why did you?
So she made a class up to teach to people. And she's not a professor, like no degrees, not a history major, not an English major, I don't know what her degrees are. Like, she just made a class up and then taught it to people.
What is
That
the class?
gets
Because you're
sketchy,
thinking
bro.
in one word. What's the
I thought
class
it
you're
would be
going to?
beneficial.
Beneficial.
Okay.
Because I didn't know.
That's more than one word.
Okay,
Now,
well.
Okay.
okay.
There it is.
She is only saying that kids need to know how negative the N-word is
That is
so
not-
that they don't use it.
That's correct.
Who are you?
Okay.
My witness.
Obviously. What do you hear? Were you in the class?
Yes.
What did you think the class was on? One word.
Black history.
Anything she say offend you?
No.
What was the discussion about the N-word?
Okay.
Just showing the kids how to use it. I mean, not how to use it. How to use it.
Yeah, how to use it. Give me a list of stuff I can say that's good. Now, I know the history of the N-word. I assumed, and this is a bad assumption, okay? Let me just get that out of the way, and I'm not sorry, okay? But growing up, when I was in high school, I assumed everyone knew the history of the N-word. I assumed that's why it was so easy to understand the arguments for and against the usage of the N-word. Oh, this is interesting. This is interesting. I love this.
To
I
use it
fucking
at all,
love this.
basically. But she did give illustration about how some kids might use it like amongst their friends
All right,
or whatever
okay.
like that.
And what you're talking about is
Yes.
you're saying that she was kind of condoning the word.
Yes, she
Okay, good. Now, you say that you lost your job because of a complaint that Miss Bryant made.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Somebody comes up and says, hey, we need to talk to you. I find out there's been a complaint against you. They said, did you use the term whitewash? And I said, I don't think so. And then they said, did you say it was okay to use the N-word? I said, no. I said, okay. Well, we have a complaint that you said these things.
I think she did say that it was okay to say the N-word in the class. And it makes sense based on everything that she's saying that she would think that it was okay. But I say it depends on which one and what the context is, right? I said I think it depends. I think it depends on what you're talking about. I think in some cases it's very obvious what the intention was. And I think intention matters. But I think the intention of I can do it because I think I have the right to do it is not good enough intention. Does that make sense? That is an incomplete understanding. And I think that means you just need to not say it. whether you want to be accepted or not, black, white, or other or not. I just feel like that's not how it works.
Facilitators, how did you like
But that's just my
the
opinion. I don't know.
seminar? I said, you know what, it was pretty interesting. We learned that Eve was black and from Africa. That was shocking. The only thing that I did not like was being called whitewashed in front
You were
of...
called whitewashed?
Yes, by
What are the
Shannon.
circumstances of that?
Well,
What are the
because
circumstances?
African American women don't wear weaves in their hair. I love my weaves, I wear these.
Okay.
At that point, she did not have a weave in her hair, but she's weaved up. Okay?
Why would I say not to wear weave when I had
Let's get it,
Because
though.
I
she
wear
was
braids and
showing
weaves all
up,
the
Your Honor,
time.
she was showing up with a nappy ponytail in her head.
She
all
roasting this
5
lady
days.
right
That's
now.
correct. Miss
She-
O'Brien is suing me because of the words that came out of her mouth by calling me whitewashed. I did not pursue anyone to fire her. I didn't even know she was
Did
fired.
you make a complaint that you were called whitewashed?
Yes,
Hell
I did.
To the
yeah.
Housing Authority?
Yes, I did.
Did you fill out a form?
Yes, I did.
You fill out a form, you say, she called me whitewashed.
Yes.
And I was insulted. How long is this I got it. How long is this seminar? How many nights? One
5
night?
days, and she
days.
showed up
5
every day and was the
Yes,
first one every
I
day.
did.
Now, wait a minute. Ladies,
Yes.
I know you don't
They
like
going
each
at it.
other.
I like
Let me
this.
try to
Oh,
get
I
to
don't
the
have a
bottom of
problem
this.
with her personal.
No, it's not.
It's not personal.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay. Look at Toki back there clapping. Look at Toki back there clapping.
Listen, Miss Bryant, it's 5 days. You keep going back. Why?
I had showed up 4 days. You want to? Can I?
No, look at me.
Oh my God.
4 days. Why not show up the last day?
If you're taking offense at what she's saying, walk out.
Well, I was still gonna go back. Why not show up for the 4 days for not?
Because you don't like what she's saying. You don't like that she's using the N-word. You don't like that she's calling you whitewash. So walk out. In fact, walk out in the middle of it.
It was one time.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Why she would go back?
Okay. Okay, good. Now, I read your statement, Debbie, and what you say is, I said white people probably look down on black people because the majority of us walk around with our hair uncombed, wearing boxers, T-shirts, and house shoes in public. Did you say that?
I did. And majority of her students came in there like that.
You think Barack Obama walks around with his hair uncombed, wearing boxers and house shoes in public?
Man, that was a tough one. I got no conversation for that, man. Do you white people? Do you white people? I don't think. I don't think people really care that much. As a whole, I actually don't think people care that much, dude. That personally, but I don't know, dude. Man, that's
a you want to take it back?
No, I'm not taking that back.
Good, I like that. Honesty.
That's tough.
All right. Now stop.
Okay.
You say you're from Glendora. She calls you Miss Glendora.
Oh, I didn't know she called me that.
Debbie's one of those students, Your Honor, when you're teaching a class, you always have one that wants to distinguish themselves from the rest of the class.
No.
Debbie made sure you knew she was from Glendora. Your Honor, I'm standing here with an Irish last name, a weave in my hair, and a husband who's biracial, adopted by a white family. You think I'm going to be insensitive and call somebody whitewash? That's an inappropriate use of the word.
Now, how much money did you lose?
I lost over $5 grand. I have check stubs to show you.
Prove it.
I got check stubs to show you. Just from February through September alone, I made $72.50 with the housing authority.
Shannon O'Brien, classroom layout.
She's not doing bad for herself.
Understanding how race and culture affect classroom learning.
Bro, I need to open myself a damn class. $72.50. Just talking about race with people? I could talk about race with people. What?
I've got your course planner. This is what I find fascinating. It's a fascinating case, by the way. I have to tell you, it's a difficult case, but I also think it's a fascinating case, the issues that are brought up here. I think they're bigger than this lawsuit itself.
True.
But the concept of Eurocentric learning, that African Americans prefer the social aspects of school such as recess and lunchtime.
Right. Well, I'll explain
that. Well, so did I. I always thought recess.
No, Your Honor. But the point of that was that in our cultures, we're very family-oriented and more relationship-oriented.
You don't think Italians and Jews and Irish are family-oriented?
What the fuck? Wait a minute, lady. Hold on, lady. Only black people like recess? If that's what that boils down, African American only like recess? What? Everybody likes recess and lunch. Bro, everybody's fat. Everybody likes to eat.
So that particular thing when we were talking about African American, because my class is geared toward helping.
Look at that man's face. That's everybody.
African American parents, because we have something in America called the achievement gap, where African American males and Hispanic males have higher dropout rates. Right. The lower test scores than white and Asian counterparts.
There's no
that's the achievement gap.
I did a whole paper in high school about the achievement gap and what we could do to close it and fixing donut hole education, all that shit. It's fucking nuts.
To do is you unite, you do not divide.
Yeah.
I'm stunned by this. Eurocentric values. African Americans and Hispanics are culturally known for being less preoccupied to strict time schedules. Well, you think Oprah Winfrey doesn't make it on time for her show? I mean,
no, I'll give you an example. And remember, those are bullet points.
Let me give you an example.
Those are bullet
points. Let me give you an example.
Give her an example.
I'm a woman.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I am a lawyer.
Right.
All right? And I'm in an all-male profession, right? And I am the only woman district attorney and 43 police chiefs. They're all men. Now, am I going to be real feminine? Am I going to be real, like what I would say maybe to you or to you? No, I'm going to be a little more appropriate for the world that I'm trying to succeed in. To do that, you've got to unite.
That's right.
That doesn't mean that I don't understand my subculture. I know my subculture. I teach it to my kids. I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud of my mother and father. I am proud of our ethnic background, and I make sure that my kids know about it. All right. She says she lost her job. You say you have emotional distress. Why are you so stressed from this?
I was so humiliated.
You were humiliated? So call her out on it.
She took this overboard.
I have an email saying that they don't trust me anymore, that is why I have to be censored. They said you have to show us your materials from here forward. The locations have the right to not use you or use you, and it's all because of that whitewash comment.
The evidence that you presented to me makes it clear that the video that you presented on Eve that she takes objection to was not included in the curriculum and therefore should not have been presented to the class. In addition, they are asking that you refrain from sharing personal opinions and stick to the curriculum. As long as no further complaints are received, we'll continue to offer your classes until funding's exhausted.
She said
Listen to me. You're doing a good job.
Thank you.
You've got to focus on uniting. Let go of a lot of that other stuff that divides.
I want to add in what the judge said about everybody coming together in unity in the intro, because I think that's very important and valuable, because that's what we do here. ChavezzSlovakia's got tons and tons and tons of different people from different backgrounds who, you know a bunch of different things and are from everywhere, and we come through and all enjoy dank memes, right? It's crazy. And I just think it's nuts that still, even though places like ChavezzSlovakia exist, you can still have a situation where somebody can even write down as a bullet point, African Americans enjoy lunch more than other people. Like, how do you even get there? Like I get your discussion about the N-word and its origin, right? But like, how do you get from there to, like, I don't know. Some of that stuff is just nuts. Some of it's not so nuts. What do you think about compared to the first situation or the second situation? Is there any difference between that lady's usage of the N-word and calling him sneaky and the lady's talking about, appropriate uses for the N-word, essentially, even though she said in court that's not what she is, but that's what all the evidence pointed towards, that that's actually what she was saying, that kids are going to use it like I use it, right? I'm a part of the generation she's talking about. I am those people. But I think she doesn't understand that we know the difference and we have different classifications for how the words are used. And I've never heard the word with an A substituted for the word with the R and vice versa, and it ever worked, because they are different, right? And legally, the problem that they're having here is legally, they support that. When you submit transcripts for conversations and there's an insult with the hard R attached, that is considered it's considered illegal. It's a hate crime. So I keep saying race over and over again. It's a hate crime. Right? Which is, I don't know. I just feel like that justifies how I feel, but I know that there are other opinions, so I'm trying to, limit myself for how I talk about it to not do too much, because I know there are other opinions, but I feel like everybody can agree on, if somebody says they don't want you to use it around them, to not use it, right? I feel like that's just, but if that is that lady whitewashed? Is she not? What does whitewashing even mean? I don't know. There's a ton of shit going on here. At the end of the day, do you think that lady should have been paid because of her complaint? I don't know. But I'll see y'all in the next one, ChavezzSlovakia. Y'all take it easy. This was fun for me, though. I had a good time with this video. I hope you guys have a good time. If you're super upset, let me know. We can talk about it. Anywho, I'll talk to y'all later, man. Peace.
Crocs, 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 Crocs. I'm rocking Crocs. I'm rocking Crocs. I'm rocking Crocs. Wearing Crocs, boy. I'm rocking Crocs. I'm rocking Crocs. I'm rocking Crocs. Wearing Crocs, boy. My Crocs are gold. My pops is old. My Crocs got soul. My Crocs are bold. I go to church wearing Crocs. I'm always turned wearing Crocs. My Crocs are great. Your Crocs are lame. With my Crocs, I can cross a lake. Crocs, 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 Crocs.